There was an entrepreneur that bought 10,000 horses the day before Henry Ford's like, you know what?
Right.
That happened. We need to not be delusional.
Correct.
Technology is undefeated, and every time something comes up, it changes. I was in a restaurant in New Orleans, and 3 or 4 people were sitting at a table next to me in their 60s or 70s, and one of them was explaining to the others why they need to use ChatGPT and not Google to search. This is gonna happen fast.
There's this notion around artificial intelligence and people faking it like they know what the hell they're doing, right? So most of the people that I'm on boards with are much older than I, less tech savvy than I, and their fear of disintermediation.
Of course.
And so
that last part.
But that's the thing. And so it's like, well, but nobody really wants to admit what they don't know. How do we actually move the needle to actually, one, bring people's guard down so they can actually leave their trepidation of what they don't know and like just say, man, I don't know. And like, where are you actually staying intelligent on this shit?
The real answer to the question is good parenting. You basically just asked me, how do we tone down the insecurity and rev up the humility of people that have achieved success, often by posturing, being political, or just the luck of the draw, besides all the elements of their own hard work and things of that nature. It's a huge challenge. One of the things that's been fascinating to me in the journey of my career is I started in such humble places. I wasn't around corporations until I was 35 years old. I didn't know anything but family business. Everything that we ever talked about was so practical.
Okay.
The first, 15 years of my career, everything was so practical. Like, if marketing, which is my passion. My father, Sasha, cared how many bottles sold in a store. He didn't care if it would have won the award. All this stuff today, it's perfect that we're filming this today. He wouldn't give a shit about an ad meter. He wouldn't give a shit about USA Today's top 5. He wouldn't care about the Twitter.
Move off the shelf.
Right. He would be like, did we sell stuff? Did we sell stuff today? And can we feel that we've sold stuff tomorrow and things of that nature? With this conversation, because of Web 1, because of Web 2, and a lot of my career when I started to understand corporations and what you're talking about, with Web 2, social, and then with Web 3, blockchain and crypto, and within them, as they were iterating, it became obvious to me, I'm like, oh snap, some of the most intelligent, powerful, best, most accomplished people I know, when the new thing comes, they peacock and they don't know. It was shocking to me at first because I was so naive. I didn't grow up at good academic structure. I just didn't see it until well into my life. And all of it was based on the stuff that I do know well, which is human behavior.
Right.
It was always, and so about insecurity and humility. So, for everyone who's listening, like when you were faking it, when you're a 57-year-old or 40-year-old or 12-year-old or 90-year-old, but like, let's talk about boards or executives, because that's what we're talking about here. Please know something, and this is literally for the creme de la creme that I know are listening to this. When you're faking it, the smart 3% know.
Absolutely.
Like, let's talk about our industry, the people who are listening here.
Yes.
There are a lot of people that are wildly successful in our industry, known.
Absolutely.
In the marketing hall of fame, on the list, like have big money, but are not as respected as they think they are.
Correct.
Because they are constantly bullshitting or building up their personal brand or things of that nature. By the way, everyone who's listening is allowed to live their life the way they're living it. In fact, even ironically within the AI thing, because I've been so busy, you know me pretty well at this point.
Yeah.
When the Web 3 thing happened, because I'd spent so much time on it, because I'd crossed every T and I was outrageously loud.
You were.
I'm not very loud about AI. AI's been red hot for
a minute.
For 15 to 18 months now. You know this. I'm putting out unlimited content. People are not seeing a lot of AI content from me. They're seeing macro AI content, more about fear. Like, they'll hear me say, people used to be scared to put electricity in their house because there was demons in it. Let's not do the same thing with AI. They'll see those things, but I'm not going deep into the modeling. I'm not going deep into like my point of view about the news or like the new app of this or what happened with Blue Sky, like
or DeepSeek or that.
DeepSeek and like how quick. Like I'm not jumping hard on that because I know I'm stretched thin right now working on different things, and I know where I'm at with AI. What I do that I wish more people did is I'm in my journey of not being scared of it. I use it every day.
That's it.
I use it every day. I use many of them. The day I heard about Midjourney, I used it. Let me see how to make a picture in a video.
Absolutely.
The day Perplexity, like I'm doing it, I'm using it. But there's people within my own, usually I pride myself of being like the guy. Literally when I say the guy, in Vayner, I am genuinely in belief that I know how to do social media creative to maximize reach better than even my experts within my own company. Currently, there are many people, because I've sent them to go do the work, that are deeper in AI stuff than I am. And that's okay. I'm on this platform.
Right.
I said yes to doing this interview.
Correct.
And I have the confidence and humility and comfort of being like, hey, I'm only a couple steps into my journey, and I don't think I can go on a panel with Sam Altman, even though I have the name status to be on one. The reason I'm saying no is because I'm not going to contribute well. And I don't want to go up there and just say a couple of fucking 50 words of just generic shit. Where am I? I understand. Where am I? I'm meeting with startups last week to figure out how to win the SEM on.
That's right.
On AI bots, because I know what happened with SEO. I was there when we went from yellow pages to search engines.
That's right.
I know search engines are in trouble.
100%.
We all know. We're watching how we all work. Like I'm 49 years old. I'm in the business, but I got one for you better. At Super Bowl, I was in a restaurant in New Orleans, and three or four people were sitting at a table next to me in their 60s or 70s, and one of them was explaining to the others why they need to use ChatGPT and not Google to search.
Oh my God.
This is going to happen fast.
I mean, it's happening so fast, which is why people are saying like, you've got to divorce your fear from it. And to your point, admitting what you don't know, allowing people to actually, educate you or your company, or just experimenting with it. Part of the issue that people have is that they're not testing it.
Well, now you're going into my biggest issue in life.
Let's get into it.
My biggest issue in life is that most people are not practitioners. In fact, back to your former employer, I had a meeting in that office right across where a big dog within your company, she's no longer there as well, was starting to break down things for me, and I literally had to stop the meeting and say, you don't know the platform. You know how to make a lot of money for the platform.
Correct.
But you do not know the platform.
That's actually not how it works.
And so, or how to get the best results. I know that you've been told as a sales individual what best practices are. That's wrong to the algo right now. So again, if anybody who's listening to this leaves with anything of value, download all of them
and use them.
Play with all of them. That is how you will have some level of context. And then when you're ready to go all in, surround yourself with people that have actually done something. When the NFT thing was going on,
yes,
one of the things I'd have a lot of conversations with companies and different things, and a lot of them would be like, oh, but Gary, I heard this. And I'm like, yes, but I did this, and this is what happened. And what you heard, let me show you what they did and what happened. Like, I think a lot of this comes down to, A, do your own homework.
Yeah.
That goes back to downloading the apps and playing. Do your own homework. B, pay very close attention to who you're listening to.
Yes.
Are they, and I live both of these lives, but the way I live the first one is what I'm most proud of. Are they a talking head?
We know a few of those.
Or have they lived that life? I'm a talking head that only talks about the things that I've lived.
Well, you're a practitioner and an operator, and you're translating that to other individuals.
Correct.
To bring them into this
There
sort
are
of
many things I wish I was talking
conversation.
about. In fact, this again makes proof in the pudding. I wish I was deeper right this second, because I would be so happy putting out more meaningful content around AI, because it would be good for me, my business, my opportunities, and the audience. But again, I haven't had the luxury to go as deep as I want to.
But it's a smart way of doing this. A lot of this is about making sure, one, you're testing and test and learn, but also you're listening. And this is part of the challenge.
That's the whole game.
And this is when you don't have a galvanized group of individuals, there isn't a community, a safe place to be able to say, I don't know.
Well, that's
or
right.
tell me what you do know. And
Well,
that's one of the things
That's
that
why
we've
I
been
love what
interested-
you're doing.
That's
like,
what we're trying to
by
do.
the way, why do you think I said yes? I love you. I love Steven.
Right.
I love you guys. But like,
Love you too,
I
bro.
also really know what you're doing is going to help a lot of my friends.
And the community. At the end of the day, what's so interesting, like insight. Everybody's worrying about, like, is this going to be evil? Is this going to disintermediate people? Is this going to make sure that some people are going to be obsolete? There's obsolescence, if you will, is associated with this. 100%.
Of course.
The only
But by the way, everything's done that.
absolutely.
The car did that.
Correct.
Electricity did that.
Yeah, I didn't walk here. You know
that's
what I
right.
mean? Like
the track. And by the way, there was an entrepreneur that bought 10,000 horses the day before Henry Ford's like, you know what?
Right.
That happened.
Correct.
Like no one's crying for the people. I don't hear anyone when they're like, AI is terrible. I didn't hear any of you when the leading salesperson for the Yellow Pages lost her bag.
No.
Like, I didn't hear from you. When you guys, I don't hear from anybody when Pop-Up Bagels comes and explodes and a local deli closes.
Correct.
Because they don't sell bagels anymore. I don't see the wah. You just like your Pop-Up Bagel.
Correct.
Like this, we need to not be delusional.
Correct.
Technology is undefeated. And
Always.
every time something comes up, it changes shit.
But there's a way for it to coexist. I mean, I think about painting and the invention of the camera.
Yeah.
It's another canvas in which to paint on. People still paint,
It's always
right?
and.
It's always and
always
photography is a wonderful medium for self-expression.
always and.
Both can coexist. Both can actually be in the same gallery, and you can appreciate both of them for what they are.
Look, I've been thinking about this for a while now, and I may go there. There is this obsession with the word or when life is about and.
I like that.
You know? And I've been thinking about like
I like
the concept of like the power of
I may
and.
quote you on that one.
Please.
That's a good one.
It's one that really is like a big observation of my life. I think a lot about like, why did things work out for me? A lot of improbability to like, my circumstance, not my macro circumstance of being a male and white. Like, I mean my micro, like my truth, the truth of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it is the obsession of and over or. And I see it in so many others. We are fixated on or. We love black and white. Black and white makes people feel safe.
It does.
But life is gray as shit. It's so fucking nuanced. It's why everyone's on tilt right now.
Correct.
It is not blue or red. It's always purple. And when you believe that it has to be blue and or red, you're fucked. And that's why everyone's anxious. And that's why the pendulum continues to swing. And that's why like we canceled very effectively on the left.
Yes.
We're now canceling very effectively on the right. Like it's it's such a joke.
That's the reason for our problems. Like, well,
Correct.
that's not quite.
Once you get to purple.
Yeah.
And the problem is both sides are actually 100% wrong.
Yes.
Like if you're red or blue, if you're black or white, you're 100% wrong because it is purple and gray out here. And that's what's going to happen with AI. To leave with one last final point here.
Absolutely.
Just please go into maybe zone, everybody. I used or, but maybe's ironically, it's maybe that really triggers my success, the power of maybe. I don't say no, which is why so much good has happened for me.
I would agree.
But saying yes is also delusional how you lose as well. It's why maybe is so powerful.
That is a fantastic way to end this sort of, interesting thoughts around this thing. I think the piece of this is also just got to be able to invest some time. I mean, everybody has infinite amounts of time, right? And
I love
this
you
is
for that,
moving.
brother.
It's so moving so
And how
fast.
can you pontificate if you haven't put in the work?
Correct. And
This was by the way, this was social. I would talk to CMOs for the last decade. They're talking about things. I'm like, you don't know, you didn't do it.
I mean, but think
That's
about all the
wrong.
conversations we've had at Cannes. It's like people running around and having these conversations. It's not real unless you've actually put it into practice, learned something, and likely failed at it.
You're basically failing at all times until you're not.
Correct.
Like it's basically life is just like walking and eating. Like the way we all like watch. I wish all of us could watch our videos of our first attempts of walking. It wasn't successful.
No.
It didn't work out. Eating. It was all over ourselves and in our hair. And like this is life, and it doesn't change from infant to where we are now. And I really, really, really encourage all of you, anyone who's listening right now, that is using this journey and consuming this content because you're in the camp of no AI, and it's and going to fear right away. And listen, you and I care about this stuff, but everyone's like the AI is going to be biased. I'm like, before you tell me about the world's problems, about race and gender, the world is always going to have that. Why is that where you have 100%? That's
where you want
now, and I love
immediately.
it. It's very noble, but you know this. People are posturing to look good.
Correct.
They don't even fucking understand technology.
They haven't
I was like,
used
how about
it yet.
download one fucking app and use it? Be like just how about that?